right? Look at Gold Street was only like back, right? But you see, but I can tell you what used to happen, right? Is that, of course, the PE was a very important part of our development, because he always said that a healthy body, right, creates a healthy mind. And on Fridays, every Friday, you know, we used to have a weekly meeting between the houses, you know, and everybody had to participate. I remember Kirkpatrick, who won the Jamaica Scholarship in 52, right? He became a doctor. He was a highbrow Jamaica. There are two brothers who were very bright too, who won scholarships like the year after. And I remember Kirkpatrick in Negasol turning, or Hannah it was, and turning out and running, participating in the weekly meet. You were expected to come and do that for your house, because it was an instilling in pride in your house, in your school, and of course ultimately in your country. It was the introduction, the sowing of the seeds of nationalism and pride. You understand? So that's why you find that KC boys have pride and passion, which is unprecedented, unequal, unparalleled anywhere else in Jamaica and in other schools, as a constant topic of discussion and the object of envy by a lot of people. You understand? You know, but no, that was an important part. In fact, and tennis, right? No, Bishop used to play tennis himself, but Bishop would play tennis with his color, his clerical color, right? Douglas Forrest. In fact, Dougie was the person, along with Mr. Bailey, who they call Beatley Bailey, right? That's what we knew a few years ago, right? Who coached the tennis team. Mm-hmm. And from that tennis exposure, right, we produced the greatest Jamaican tennis player of all time, Richard Russell, right? And Richard Russell and Lance Lumsden, who passed about 3 weeks ago, became famous, right, for a match they played in 1969 representing Jamaica. Right, they played against Arthur Ashe and Passerelle at the St. Andrew Club, which is where Tennis Jamaica is now. It was grass courts at that time. And they played doubles over 2 days, lasted 5.5 hours, and beat them. It was a heroic achievement. This little country at that time with Arthur Ashe, one who had won the Forest Hills. He won Forest Hills 3 or 4 times, you know. Won the Wimbledon in 1975. The only black man to have won a major. And of course we have the black ladies who win it as them like, the Williams sisters. Right? But he was a... Up to yesterday, the Rogers Cup. They let the girls toast her to sickness. You understand? That's second consecutive tournament. So when they win the US, they fired up. She win the US again. So she will move from the 13 Grand Slams. Right? You know? So at that time, so the tennis, they was alive, we were winning the Alexander Cup and the Gibson Cup and all like that. And I tell you, other guys who played on the tennis team, Mayor and them, what is that guy? Meekel. They went on to become successful dentists, right, in Canada. I've lived in Canada, right? And there's another guy who used to play as a professor, Bethune. He was also on the track team, a professor at some university, right? And then you had another thing is that during those days you had about 3 or 4 families who had 5 sons at KC one time. It's a phenomenon that you don't see with Chinese. If a Chinese man has 20 children, you send them to 20 different schools. Mm-hmm. And you probably don't know the reason. The reason is simple. Networking. See? The Chinaman is thinking way ahead of us about in business. Because, you know, he is thinking, because you see, in those days, you know, right? For instance, George's at the senior Cambridge level, they used to get the most grade ones, you know. But when you look at those names, they are all Chinese. They don't take high schools. Because the Jamaica scholarship don't mean anything to them. Because they don't intend to become professional or to become an academic. They're going to go into business. You understand? They never won the Jamaica scholarship until 1958. George's. George, of course, was formed by some Jesuits, was a Churchill then from Colombia. They came down here and it was supposed to be a school for gentlemen and children and gentlemen and so on. But eventually it changed, as you know. But the guy who won the Jamaica scholarship in 58, is a guy whose brother went to KC, Philip Chin, became an engineer, and his other brother went to JC. He really had two brothers, right? During the time also of the time of which we speak, there are a number of KC boys who went on to excel, right, as lawyers, right? Slightly before, well, round about that time was Zaka, who became, I didn't know him, but he would have been like late 40s. Zaka, who became the youngest Chief Justice. And when Zaka retired, he retired 5 years before his term was up. He spoke up to about 4 weeks ago, as with Simone Fox said. He was, well, he was supposed to have been on the panel, he's the chairperson, but he couldn't sit down eventually when he came up. But anyway, right? And then you had Donald Bingham, who went to the Court of Appeal, right? And Bingham also played on that winning Sunlight Cup team of 1953. We used to call him Fire Gas. He used to play tennis also. And then he served one time, and I don't know, must have some stone, you know, to pick up and a little spark and thing. The boy, Fire Gas. So they called him Fire Gas. You had also at that time people like Raul Henriquez. Was at KC with his brother. His brother died in a drown with some Roman Catholic nun. They were snorkeling in Montego Bay. And he was having an affair with her. This nun decided that she wanted some. So started a nun. And Don WKHNC. He was also at KC when I was there, right? And he's a Queen's Counsel, retired, and then there were some other boys there that people said them brighter than all the guys who were winning the scholarships. You know, man taking the high schools at 14. The boy short pants, you know, short pants, and I mean 6 years, you know. Yeah, that's what happened to Bumpy Clark. At 15, in taking high schools.
I'm ready. But could you give us some of your more memorable moments as a student at KC? Were you involved in sporting activities and competitive activities? What was that experience like?
Yeah, man, wonderful, I mean. Well, I tell you, as a 15-year-old, as a class 2, I represent KC in pole ball and came second to open event. But as a someone, I don't know, a bit defiant at school and so on, and I never bothered with it. What I used to do is every year at sports, I would go, right, when they're having pole vault, and when everybody else walk out, I one jump, win, and I go on home and come and collect the prize. In fact, it's a strange story how I came to the pole vault, because it's something that I used to love as a kid. I love it. And I used to practice all with my mother's tool stick on the lawn, much to her annoyance, I think.
Yes.
I was digging up the lawn and all like that. And I always loved it. And the great Foggy Boris. It's another man who you can't talk about Casey and don't mention his name. Right? Because of the courage that he had. When he was stricken with polio, he chirped himself out of hospital. Right? And started his exercises and all like that so he could function. He came back to Casey and talked. And I asked him how he felt. Polio was 1954. He used to teach me history. In fact, with probably the highest score mark I ever got in history at KC, I got from him. It was Roman history. And I remember writing about what the name of the guy at the gates of Rome and the Etruscans and so on. And when he got wounded, and he said, "Oh, terrible father, terrible to the Romans, where Romans are the Romans, love the Romans, and whatever." But anyhow, when I asked him how he felt after discovered he had polio, he said, "I just asked the doctor if I'll be able to do one thing." And the doctor said, "Yes." And all right, I will look at it. What? I can do that thing. You understand? No, he was an exceptional man, greatest motivator and so on. And he believed that I was the most natural, which I probably was until that time. Because in 1951 or so, 50, I think 50, Dennis Leader did pole vault for Casey here.
Okay.
Yeah. But what happened is that I used to go every afternoon after school and go down to the pit where the guys were training. And I would go down there in my long pants, brown loafers, or khaki clothes and so on. And I see them. By this time, Noel White was the coach, right? Noel White became headmaster of the Camperdown.